Hello world, Dave here, you may call me Modown Joe. Welcome back to Let's Play Cthulhu Saves the World! And I'm blindly stumbling through the graveyard of Weezer songs, I mean memories. Trust me, I do not want to go back here anytime soon. This, I will have to admit something. This is actually a second recording. I know I was going to do it blind, but I actually, halfway through the dungeon I actually found out that they actually took the time to put individual text on each of the tombstones, and that made me want to re-record so I could inspect every tombstone because I just think it's really clever. Anyway, we got some more new enemies here. Black Widows and Indigestibles. Indigestites? I have no idea what that actually said. From as far as I can tell, most of the enemies around here are just stronger versions of the enemies we found back in Dunwich. So, you know, there's gonna be that. But yeah, like I said, the fact that they actually took the time to... Well, I just remember playing, you know, it's a small thing for me. I like that they actually took the time to add a little bit of flavor to, even if it's mostly just jokes about people that I don't even think I recall too well. Virginia Connor, I have a feeling that dates back to Roanoke? I have no idea. I do not know my pre-colonial history, folks, but I also got some more new enemies here. Spirit Knights, they're, well, recolourings of the Necro Knights from before. Yeah, sure, not Paleo Swamp. And you probably remember the Necro Leader, the Dead Leaders or Necro Leaders or whatever from last episode. I'll be telling you, I'm thankful there aren't that many random battles here, because I actually have a small rant that I want to go on. Don't worry, it's tangential. It's not something stupid like my personal life or anything. But, yeah, it's just, I was actually kind of surprised that they went and actually made individual text for, yeah, nothing unusual there. I remember, there's a commentary note in the last dungeon that mentioned that there's like, that actually brought up like how the random encounter system worked, that actually mentioned that there was a hidden dungeon that references, that's weird, that references Breath of Death 7, and I have a feeling that I know exactly where it is now. I'm guessing, though. I'm still guessing. But, yeah, speaking of Breath of Death 7, I remember basically that whole game setting allowed for there to be a lot of tombstones everywhere, because it was, like, post-apocalyptic, like, after a nuclear war, and everyone died, and the dead rose from the earth and decided to start rebuilding civilization, and they decided, let's not do any of this fancy high-tech stuff, let's go back to medieval times or whatever, and it's a stupid plot, but anyway, they had tombstones everywhere, and it's like, every cluster of tombstones had the same damn thing written on it, and I just found that stupid and lazy, and I just find it weird that it's like the same developer who did that actually took the time to put individual text on each of these tombstones, and, well, you know, I'll give you a little bit of insight about us, about computer programmers like me. Well, I'd say an aspiring computer programmer. I am a computer science major, but we're lazy. Okay, I said it, we're lazy. So, you know, I guess a little bit of laziness is to be expected. And, I mean, that is why modular programming exists. That way, you can take a chunk of code from someone else's application or program that they wrote, from the source code of that, and plug it into yours without having to tweak anything to make it work just right. It'll just sit there, and you can call it when you need it, and that's the whole... But, and so, you know, it's lazy, but, you know, programmers are lazy, so, you know, I guess it's to be expected that maybe he didn't want to fill out all the text for all the different little things that pop up, and, you know, that's fine by me, but, you know, when it comes to games, if there's an aspect you don't care about, like the flavor of the world, or, you know, the like certain gameplay elements, then what the hell are you expecting me to care about it either? I can't believe I actually fell for that gag, though. I can't believe I actually fell for that. But, and so that's why I kind of, like, felt so dissatisfied with Breath of Death. It's just that, you know, it felt like they weren't even trying, and this game, it certainly feels like they're trying. They go full tilt. They actually take the time to put different books on each bookshelf. They take the time to write out all the little text and all the gravestones, and they take the time to make all the enemies interesting, even if they do end up doing a couple of palette swaps. You can't blame them for at least trying to. I have to give them some leeway on the laziness, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, programmers are lazy. We are lazy people. I have a feeling that I will have to be putting my foot in my mouth if I ever decide to make a video of any game I actually ever make in the future. Oh dear God, that's gonna be a nightmare of sorts. Anyway, after that fight, October had to learn Focus, which it costs 2 MP and it doubles the next spell you cast, the damage from the next spell you cast. I also like that they went and hid that treasure chest behind some scenery. That's actually pretty, you know, I mean, it's an old trick, and it's the oldest trick in the book, but, you know, you gotta give them credit for actually, you know, not leaving something out in plain sight. Low-bearing tombstone. But yeah, like I said, if you're not gonna try, then, you know, you're not gonna be able to interest many people, so, you know, just at least give it an attempt. This is half the reason why I actually love this game more than Breath of Death. I mean, I played Breath of Death once, and they actually were so self-defeating at the end. They thought that it was such a bad game and didn't deserve the time you put into it. But, you know, it was worth trying once. I doubt I'll ever play it again, unlike Cthulhu Saves the World, where I actually loved it enough that I wanted to make a Let's Play out of it, and play through it again, and show everyone why it's such a good game. You know, I actually had a character in City Heroes that was called Pirate Ninja. And, well, you know, I'm getting distracted from my own rant here. But anyway, well, I guess the fact of the matter is, I have to applaud them. You know, actually, I've mentioned before that I am the moderator of the Fangamers message board forums, and the head moderator has kind of spoken on their podcast before that one of the things he likes about Okami is that it's the world's best dog simulator. By which he means there's actually a dedicated bark button, and he likes that they actually put that little detail in there. And similarly, Earthbound kind of comes to mind whenever he brings that up, because there's like a dedicated button for when you're riding the bike to ring the bike bell, and I actually like that. So it's, you know, it kind of goes together there. Anyway, we got a Snake Whip for October there, so it actually makes her pretty decent for physical damage, since, you know, it hits twice. The strength boost isn't that much better, but hey, it double hits, so, you know, she can build combo easier if, you know, there's too many enemies on the screen to make lightning a little bit useful. That is, if you went with a random lightning, like I did. But yeah, you know, I actually like it when developers, you know, add things that aren't Easter eggs, but they don't expect anyone ever to use. It adds nice touches, you know. More developers should, I mean, I don't think more developers should use it, because then it loses its specialness, but it's nice when they do it. It's nice when they put flavor text on all the tombstones. It's nice when they add a bark button to a game where you play as a wolf god. It's nice when they let you ring the bell on your bicycle, or it's nice when you get, and when each of your camp, everyone in camp says something different when you try to light them on fire and fail spectacularly. I like it when games do small things like that. Whew! That was a hell of a filibuster. I do not know what the hell I'm supposed to do now. I mean, I guess I could show you my progress through this boss fight here, because I will tell you this. This is a very difficult boss fight if you do not come prepared, if you do not know what to do. And I have failed through this, and you will see my failure in all its glory. Well, it's not going to be a complete failure. 1-ups for the win. One of the smartest things that these guys have ever done with an RPG is just putting in 1-ups. But anyway, one thing you gotta learn about the Living Tombstone is that, well, it's not much of a fight. he's not much of a fighter by himself. That's the thing, though. He's never by himself. He always will come with these knights by his side, and if you try to kill them, he'll just bring them back. And that is pretty much the long and short of this battle. He will just, you're gonna have to deal with the knights no matter what, and I don't think making him insane actually does anything, but, I must tell you, ladies and gentlemen, he has a lot of HP, and he's a bit of a pest because of the fact that he keeps summoning those knights over and over again. Just try to keep healed, and this is... I actually remember some of the earlier bonus, like my first run through, I actually kind of went to a bonus dungeon way earlier than scheduled, and kind of got my head handed to me very quickly. Yeah. I don't like how there's... If I can be random about something else, if you're gonna have multiple skills that do similar things, don't... but not identical things, name them differently. You know, it's kind of weird that the Necromancers back in Dunwich have a raised up dead spell that revives all their teammates with 1 HP, and the Tombstone has a raised dead spell that revives all his teammates with full HP. Although then again, Narlotep also had that, didn't he? But you know, that was a nuisance. And it's still annoying with this living Tombstone guy as well. But yeah, one thing obviously one thing I should have done right from the beginning: buff everyone with every buff that I have right off the start, because this guy will murder you in absolutely no time flat. Honestly, you won't see my slow demise very soon enough. And then a second chance where I actually get it right. I'm so sorry, but at least you get to enjoy the battle music, the boss battle music. It's not... I love... the music in this game is... I'm thankful that the developers actually put the music as a free download, because I don't know if I paid money for it, but it's okay. It works with the game. There's a couple areas that... a couple of tracks that I really dig. The boss music kind of... It's not something that it's something that I... How do I put this? It's certainly enjoyable, I'll say that much. I can't fault it for not doing it right, but... Ouch. Yeah, this is where it all goes wrong. I guess I just have a soft spot for Trans-Siberian Orchestra, because that's what this makes me think. The electric guitars, the kind of orchestral music accompaniment. Yeah, I have a soft spot for them. Every Christmas time, which, by the way, this has obviously been recorded after Christmas time, but every Christmas time, that's... when I hear Trans-Siberian Orchestra on the radio, that's what gets me in the Christmas spirit. Not Jingle Bells, not some variant of the You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. I don't even know how the hell that became a Christmas song. Not... Trans-Siberian Orchestra is what gets me in the mood. It's strange, but, you know, I guess I'm just a strange guy in that way. But yeah, obviously one thing, as you saw right away, make sure Reckless Charge gets its name, because, well, if you are too reckless with it, you are gonna die. And as I so clearly just demonstrated with the first run-through. Ouch. Umi still gets her head handed to her every time. Maybe later on we'll get someone that can heal, that won't die at the drop of a hat. Maybe. Nah, that's just wishful thinking. But anyway, this is definitely one of the trickier boss fights, I'll say that much. But, you know, it's not tricky for... It's tricky for different reasons, honestly. I mean, he has a lot of... he never has any spells that hit everyone, so he's not... so he's never that much of a threat. What makes him a threat is just the fact that he's always accompanied by allies that you cannot really do much with, otherwise he's just gonna bring them back at full health, and well, I guess you just kind of have to put up with them for the time being, but honestly, just make sure buff everyone with all the whatever you got, with whatever techniques you have available to you. Keep them healed. It's basic stuff here. Keep everyone healed. And lay into the tombstone first. It's tempting to go after the knights, but don't, because they're just gonna, in the end, you're just gonna regret it. But and obviously, regen all is just gonna be insanely useful. Although we might end up. Pause will probably end up being useful for regen all in the near future. I won't say how or why. I know a little too much. But anyway, I'll say this right now, though. About that hidden dungeon that I didn't play through my first time, the one that's supposed to be a big reference to Breath of Death. I'm gonna try to find that sometime. It's supposed to be like an endgame dungeon. You're not supposed to see it till like until like the final portion of the final chapter, but if I find it, I'll let you know, and I'll definitely show it off, but for the time being, I have no idea what to expect. Oh, I forgot that the thing actually used Quake. That's a little surprising for me. Oh well. And this is probably where everything goes horribly, horribly wrong. Actually, no, it doesn't. I only used one up in this whole thing, and you're probably looking at the time anyway and seeing, yeah, you can't screw things up that badly. That was a brutal fight, and I'm not looking forward to that bonus dungeon. But it's over, and let's go check out that shot claw for him. Targets a group, and wow, that is certainly a nice damage boost. Oh well, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, may you know what you're doing, because I certainly did not know this time. Until then, take care. Oh dear God. Next time, ladies and gentlemen, we will return to a actually planned out schedule of something. I don't know.